Yamaha presents the Whitetail Diaries, chronicling hunting adventures of the most plentiful and intelligent big game animal in North America. Join top whitetail hunters nationwide. Embark on the amazing adventure that is hunting the whitetail deer. This week on the Yamaha Whitetail Diaries, Steve Nessl will be handgun hunting in a pop-up blind and will come face-to-face with a real bruiser. But first, our cameraman, Kevin Giesecke, is going on a crossbow hunt in the Wendlandt Ranch.
Man, I love crossbow hunting. Up-close hunting, that makes it exciting, and I just love it. What we're looking for is just a good, mature deer. I was happy just to get in the stand and be able to hunt with a crossbow. And whatever deer came out that was of the right age and the right size, I'm in. We set up in ground blind, overlooking a little flat area that dropped off into a creek bottom. And we had deer all over us from the get-go. Lo and behold, the deer we were looking for, he showed up. The problem was he never gave us a shot. He stayed off on our right side, and we had Rusty, the camera, set up on the right side. Rusty couldn't see him. The deer still came over a couple times where Rusty could get shots of him, but never gave me a good, steady broadside shot.
Had a pretty cool sit this morning. The deer we want to shoot came in before the sun came up. It was out in front of us, but never gave us a good shot. Saw lots of deer, saw a couple of nice big TenPoints. Yeah. Not quite old enough to shoot. It just didn't quite work out, but I mean, we had a good time, man. It was fun, beautiful. We're going to change our setup. Give us a little more shooting lane, so this afternoon maybe we can get another shot at him. In the afternoon, this place ought to be, the sun's dead into us this morning, and it's still going to work. The afternoon's going to be behind us. We're going to be really dark in here. Wind ought to be good if there's any wind really at all. And it ought to be a good setup. If he comes back, we'll have a great chance at him. So, cool. So we're going to slip out. We're lit up now. We're going to slip out. The deer are gone, so it's time for us to get out. We don't spook anything.
Evening hunt comes, and we know that this is where we're going. We're going back to that same stand. And this time I switched cameras. Jeff's hunting with us now. And what we did, we got in early enough that we could open that stand up to where the camera could see where that deer wanted to be. He wanted to be on our right side, so we set up to go to that right side. So if he did give us that opportunity, we were ready to take it.
That's his running buddy right there.
That deer comes in, and my heart rate goes from normal to 1,000. As a matter of fact, I've kind of gotten into where I wear the Garmin heart rate monitor because everybody kind of makes fun of me. I'm the poster child for buck fever. Whether I'm hunting with a camera or whether I'm hunting with a crossbow, bow, or rifle, it does not matter. I get all kinds of nervous when that deer comes out and it gets close to that time.
I think it was a good hit. What do you think, Scott?
I couldn't tell.
You couldn't tell?
They move so fast.
So, the deer we wanted to get, and his buddy.
Yeah, same ones from this morning.
First two deer in this evening.
Yeah.
Our guy was in back. I kept waiting for a broadside shot, wanted his foot, wanted his leg towards me to go forward, and he finally gave it to us. But right before all that happens, we had two foxes come in.
I mean, I was afraid they were going to just spook the deer by the suddenness of their appearance, and they didn't. The deer saw him, and he just wasn't even concerned, really. I mean, he was just kind of curious, but that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
they were beautiful.
And he kind of blew them off and went back, and I said, well, heck, there's my shot right there. His legs forward, his head, everything was ready.
It was perfect. Kind of right in that little slot right there through that little hole. And that was I mean, it sounded good. I just couldn't, everything happened so fast. I just couldn't tell, but that was, man, that was
Well,
I mean, that deer just wanted to stay. He never would. He kind of
Like
just
he
ate
did this
down that
morning.
meadow, just like this morning. It's just like that's his place. And
well, we set up for him this afternoon. We changed our angle to
and we
go
did.
over there.
I mean,
so we can get a
this
shot
morning we weren't set up to be able to shoot that side, and this afternoon we changed everything. We had time, and you know we weren't fighting it, so we got in there and got it right. And that's where you shot. I mean, that just you got to pay attention to those things when you're hunting, because I mean, just little tiny things like that make all the difference on getting the right shot. I mean, and you took the shot when it was right. That was important.
I still feel like I might have a little back or a little bit to the right, but I still think he was open enough. I think.
Yeah.
You know, I was shooting kind of towards that other shoulder. Two things. Right here, there's a Garmin temperature gauge, right? A little temperature deal, but also right here I'm noted for getting extremely nervous. So I have a heart rate monitor on. So that'll be on the Virb. Y'all can make fun of me later.
Well,
he was out there enough, I settled down a little bit.
You did. I mean, you were breathing hard, and we all were, but you had some time to settle down. That's important too. I mean, man, when you're at the peak of your nervousness, it's hard to make a good shot.
Yeah, I felt comfortable.
Yeah. Well, you're so set up right here. Yeah. You got a good chair. You're comfortable. Good rest. Everything was right. And, you know, you waited for the right opportunity, and it came. And there weren't tons of deer around, and it was, you know, it just kind of worked. It was strange when he ran off the way he did a little flip move where he went left and cut back.
Yeah.
Just he wanted to go back the way he came, and he, you know, that arrow may have just.
I couldn't tell if it passed through or if it.
I just believe it did as fast as that thing is.
Yeah.
But
God, I love this.
Yeah,
I absolutely love this.
That's fun. That was fun. That really was. That was exciting.
Now when we return, Kevin tracks down his deer, and then Steve Nessl goes hunting for a monster buck. The Yamaha Whitetail Diaries is brought to you by Yamaha's proven off-road ATVs and side-by-side vehicles. Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Garmin Zero. Leave the guesswork behind.
The all-new Yamaha Wolverine X2. With a compact chassis perfect for exploring tight technical terrain. An ultra-quiet and smooth 850 class twin-cylinder engine. And next-level versatility with a 600-pound dumping cargo bed. No other side-by-side delivers this level of proven off-road performance. The all-new Wolverine X2 from Yamaha.
As people who love the outdoors, we know what we stand for. We stand for fish, wildlife, and conserving the places they call home. We stand for the traditions we inherited and that we must pass on. We stand for great gear, fair prices, expert service, and memorable experiences. At Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, we stand together for you.
Welcome back to the Yamaha Whitetail Diaries with Wade Middleton. Kevin just took a nice shot at a 9-point buck. Now it's time to track him down.
We played it back in the camera, and we were pretty convinced that, yeah, he was good. We're going to give him some time, but, you know, confidence is high. All that being said, I still get nervous until I actually get to see that deer on the ground. One of the coolest things that I had on this hunt was the new Garmin InReach, and what that is it's a satellite communicator. Basically, it's using satellite technology that you are able to send and receive text like you do with your regular cell phone. So it's 100% worldwide coverage, and you're able to, if you get into trouble, you're able to get a text out for help, or in this case, I let Wade know that we had the deer down, no need to come out and help us, and that's part of one of the cool things about a Garmin InReach.
Learn more about the Garmin InReach at Garmin.com.
We've got good sign on the ground, and we're looking around, and we go maybe 30, 40 yards, and Scott looks up. Oh, there he is right there.
Holy shit, he's balled up in a tree.
beautiful, beautiful 9.
Chocolate horns.
What a great deer. Yeah, they never brought down on that side. That's kind of cool.
That's kind of odd.
Brought,
But God, what a pretty deer.
Hey, congratulations, Kevin, on your crossbow entry into the Yamaha Whitetail Diaries. Now, Kevin was hunting with a TenPoint Phantom RCX, and now TenPoint has come out with the Stealth and Shadow NXT crossbows. These crossbows are equipped with vector quad cables, producing speeds up to 410 feet per second while maintaining strength and stability. Check out all these crossbows at TenPointCrossbows.com. Hey, now we're heading to the Whitetail Diaries deer camp as Steve Nessl is about to go on one of his favorite kinds of hunts, a handgun hunt.
We're down at the Whitetail Diaries camp, and it's a continuation of a handgun hunt for me. Last year I got an opportunity to take a doe with one, and I literally fell in love with the Performance Center Stealth Hunter. It's a sweet looking gun, and for me it's one of the sweetest shooting guns, at least handguns I've ever shot. With the red dot sight, I love shooting that gun, whether it's at the range or when I took my first deer with it. It just, again, a little bit of a love affair.
Visit Smith-Wesson/PC to learn more about the Performance Center Stealth Hunter.
The place we're hunting tonight is called the house stand, or it's a house stand area. You know, Wade could fill you in on the details, but there are a ton of good bucks out there, including one that disappeared for a while and just showed back up recently.
First picked up this property that we were leasing, and I got some pictures of this deer on scouting camera, and man, he was fairly regular around a protein feeder we had set up. And then all of a sudden he was just gone, and then all of a sudden he was just back several years later. And I'm convinced this is the same deer. I mean, there was just too many of the mannerisms, too many of the looks on the pictures that I saw that made me think that this is the same deer. And the age class makes sense of how old this deer is. And so when I first saw him show back up on the scouting cameras, I was like, it's time to go hunt this deer, see if we can't get lucky.
We're in a pop-up, we brushed it in, it's been there for a couple of days. It's gonna be a cool looking, you'll see it here, it's a cool looking spread for us, for the hunter, and for Wade as my camera guy tonight. I'm hoping we just don't look at the landscape all evening. I hope we get some big bucks trolling through, but I'll have shots anywhere from 15 to 40, 45, and I feel pretty confident. Hopefully get something in the sweet spot between 20 and 30, but cool spot, warm day, but big deer in the area, so we'll see what happens.
When we return, we join Wade and Steve in the blind as they wait for their mystery deer. The Yamaha Whitetail Diaries is brought to you by TenPoint Crossbows. Perfection lives here. Angle Coolers, a legend in reliability. Smith Wesson Performance Center. Performance when it matters most. Walkers, protect it or lose it.
How do you aim a 36-yard shot with a 30-yard fixed pin at a 15-degree angle with a 7-inch holdover without moving a single pin? Easy. You get one of these. Zero, the auto-ranging digital bow sight from Garmin.
Introducing the Stealth NXT, the narrowest and most accurate 10-point crossbow ever. Measuring an ultra-narrow 6 inches wide, the Stealth NXT unleashes devastating speeds up to 410 feet per second, generating jaw-dropping kinetic energy and match-grade downrange accuracy, all on a whisper-quiet shot, 3 times quieter than the competition. The all-new Stealth NXT from TenPoint.
What does it take to make EverCalm deer scent? It takes a deer farmer who raises whitetails. It takes mixing the special blend of EverCalm, testing each batch,
That smells good.
and then pouring each container. Once it's cooled, each container is cleaned, examined, and packaged for shipping. It takes the finest deer herd and a great team of people to make the best hunting scent available. Evercalm from Conquest Scents.
Welcome back to the Yamaha Whitetail Diaries with Wade Middleton. We joined Steve Nessl and Wade in a pop-up blind under some not-so-good conditions, but they're hopeful that the deer they're after will make an appearance.
So we'd been out there for probably 45 minutes to an hour before the first deer came in, and then it was pretty steady from there. We had our first little schizo playful spike, and then a young 8, another young 8, a couple cool deer, and then he's probably just a 3.5-year-old, but an 8 that was really nice, and I like cool looking 8s. He's gonna get good, I think. Maybe not too wide, but super tall at some point. He was the biggest deer in the field for a while, and I knew he wasn't to be shot. I knew he wasn't on the list, and you can't help but think, what if? You start justifying how old he might be and the things that go through your head, but I never even reached for the gun, and we were there for a reason, and it was to really to chase this one deer. Now, there were other bucks, other mature deer that Wade had seen, and I think had the back of his mind that maybe if they came in instead, we may still try and get something to go down, but there was one deer at the top of the list for sure, the guy who just showed back up, and you know, at the same time, all these deer in front of us, ironically enough, all of them bucks, ended up being about, I'd say 12 to 15 of them. He hadn't shown up yet, and yet we weren't surprised. The whole plan was to try and get deer to be in a place where the deer could be in front of us and comfortable.
You know, if you've hunted a lot of pop-up situations in a filming scenario or with a buddy in there, some people have different angles in the blinds. And so I'm actually the camera guy, which is kind of scary to begin with because about half the time I'm out of focus. I'll push buttons. I don't even know what happens on the camera. That's not my deal. That's not my gig. It's just that I love to go hunt with people, so I'll grab the camera in a lot of those situations. So I'm sitting off in the left-hand corner. Steve's in the right-hand corner. And, you know, we've got a few young bucks that are milling around. This is a real pretty little kind of a mesquite flat with a little bit of grass in it. It's just a perfect little area for a lot of deer based on this time of the year. And all of a sudden he's pointing and down there, and I can't see anything. And he can see old big boy coming down the little draw.
Well, the old deer has been spotted. The only thing now is, will he come any closer for Steve to get a shot? Find out when we return. The Yamaha Whitetail Diaries is brought to you by Thompson Center, America's master gun maker. Sawyer Products, we keep you outdoors. Quick Draw Mineral Blocks, a difference you can see.
We plan all year for this. We hone our skills. We have confidence in the gear we choose. We pore over thousands of images and videos. When the time comes, will you be ready? Introducing the all-new 4K camera by Stealth Cam. Proven.
High-vis shooting systems knows that your shooting performance matters in all conditions. All high-vis shooters experience faster target acquisition with our durable light wave sights. Featuring easily interchangeable light pipes, light wave sights give your eyes the exact sight picture you crave. Shoot high-vis. See what you've been missing.
Many said that we were just obsessed when we started, that there had to be an easier way to smoke food. As time passed, the Bradley family created a lineup of Bradley electric smokers that has made it easier for the novice or even expert chef to get perfect results every time they use it. Grab yourself a Bradley smoker and take your cooking to an all-new level.
Engel's got the original high-performance cooler and a whole lot more. Engel coolers, go with the original.
Protect it or lose it.
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 Welcome back to the Yamaha Whitetail Diaries with Wade Middleton. The deer that Steve and Wade have been looking for has appeared. Wade's view is obstructed by a bush, so they're hoping this buck will come a little closer.
You remember those old-timey movies, or like when you're in the play in the 5th grade or whatever, and the teacher would put the X out there and you'd go stand on there and that's where you'd recite your little play? I mean, that's what this deer did. It's like we painted an X out there. He walks in, all the other deer kind of get out of the way, and he stops on the X and just turns broadside. I mean, this is a deer I haven't seen in 3 years, and he's gonna read the script that good and go to the X?
I mean, I could tell he was our deer. You could see his rack, but what struck me was two things: how old he looked, just through the binoculars with his face and just the colors of his face, and how flipping big he was. Just a monster compared to everything else in that field. Got him.
Watch him.
I know you say this thing is yours. This thing is mine.
Oh my God, what a great shot, Steve.
Oh, what a great plan. What a great gun. Practice with it. I love this thing. I like him a lot. I'd like to say that I built up to him because I took a doe, but there's no building up to that with any weapon, much less a handgun like this 44 Smith & Wesson at about 22, 23 yards. That is ridiculous. We had bucks everywhere. He's right. He's right there. He's right there. He's nuts. I can't even look at him through my binoculars because I'm still shaking. Oh.
Cool, old deer, great gun that I have a love affair with, the Stealth Hunter, and a trophy that I'll take home and celebrate in a variety of ways. I've been doing it since he went down, and I'll continue to do it when I get home with my family and friends.
I mean, I can't even begin to describe these things. There's so much character about this guy's horns. The blading up here, split, this 3 that comes out like this, they touch in the middle, about that far apart. These 2 little, he's so thick, and And he's old. Thank you, buddy. He's old. First I saw him, I didn't think he was coming in. When I saw him, I put the binoculars up like an idiot, forgot there were any other deer in the field. And I think I spooked them all out. Luckily it calmed down. He watched everything for a while, and then he came in and he established his place, and luckily for me that was inside of 25 yards. And I've gotten pretty good with the Smith Wesson 44. Thankful he gave me a shot. Thankful that programs like Wade's put in place are netting deer like this. Just a stud of a deer who I think left for a while, and he's back, and he's here. And again, I don't really know how to describe it. I'm blessed for sure. I'm definitely blessed. It's a neat deal, it really is. It's a cool deal to take an animal like that, period. To take it in the way we did, from planning ahead to suffering some tough hunting conditions, to me getting out with a firearm that I really, really liked and wanted an opportunity with because I was comfortable and felt like I could succeed with it. And it's a happy ending for sure, it really is. Things could go wrong, but we took every step of the way. We took measures to ensure that they, as much as we could, that they wouldn't. And right now there's a cool looking deer in the cooler. I get to tell his story, and it's going to live on. I mean, we're going to talk about this guy for a long time.
Congratulations, Steve, on your handgun entry into the Yamaha Whitetail Diaries. Well, that'll do it for us here, and we'll see you next time.
When I was in special ops, every item had a purpose, or it got left behind. It's no different today. If it doesn't protect me or help me perform at the highest level, I've got no use for it. Otherwise, I don't come back with whatever it is I set out to get. Wiley X, ballistic rated eyewear.
Purina's Quick Draw is the perfect solution for attracting deer to your location and providing them with the essential nutrients that will encourage their growth.
Use these blocks where you can, and I promise you, not only are you going to see more game, but the game's going to benefit from you placing it out.